What's happening, folks? This is D-Rock coming to you from Mississippi, and I'm doing a little working on my Kure, getting everything dialed in. I made a last little minute adjustment, took another ½ inch out of my draw length so that I'd feel a little bit more comfortable. I've changed over to the Scott Sigma thumb button release. So anyway, I'm trying to get used to it and trying to get my feel of everything with it and the bow. And so anyway, I'm just about there. Matter of fact, I think I am there. But I'm trying to get this Engage Hybrid dialed in. And that's a custom bow equipment, CBE Engage Hybrid. Don't you love my kitchen counter here as far as where or actually my oven stove where I do my work at, because I have the best light. But anyway, custom bow equipment, single pin Engage Hybrid, adjustable sight. I started off with my dovetail in the top hole right here, actually moved it down. Sometimes you have to play with these things a little bit to get them just right. And then actually I moved this whole sight chamber down, or that attaches to the dovetail, because it was right here in these holes. I don't know if you can see that there. It was in those second holes there. And so I moved it down, so that way whenever I dialed it back up to 30 or even to 20, my slider is going to be up here, because I needed to make sure that I could, if I have a sight that's going to shoot out to 100 yards, not that I would ever shoot an animal at 100 yards, but if it's going to, if I buy it and it can shoot 100 yards, I want it to be able to do it. So anyway, I'm going to put this camera on my head, and I'm going to show you how it's done. A little playing around, thanks to Larry McCoy with Respect the Game TV, helping giving me some advice. So anyway, I thought I'd do a short video and show you how it's done. Alright, I'm back. So I have that's my 60-yard mark where I was outside shooting a while ago. There's my 30-yard mark. So basically you set the bow up, you shoot it at 30, get it dialed in at 30, and then you dial it down, slide the whole chamber down to, and sight it in at 60, and then you mark those two spots. So I'm going to turn this bow around just a second. I apologize if this isn't the best quality, but this is how it's done. Alright, so I make me a little mark right there at the 60 mark. That's about right there. Alright, so I have a 30 mark and a 60 mark. Now I get my gauge over here. And get a little Allen wrench. I will take that off. I'll take my tape off. Unscrew that. It's got a little there. Unscrew this one. Make sure you lock that down before you do all this, because you don't want it moving when you have it set on that 60. So I got that. I'll take this gauge off. Sometimes when you get different errors and stuff, you can go back, put that little tape back on there. Anyway, I get my gauge here. As you can see here, it's got 30 yards, and then you line your 60 yard up with the other one there. So there's my 30, and it is going to be dead on 13. I like it. Alright, so I don't know if you can see that or not. Anyway, that's my gauge. It's on my tape when I set it at 30 and 60. So you can see the 30-yard pin, the 30-yard mark is there, and then the 60-yard pin tells you which gauge to use. 13 it is. Alright, so now we dig around in here and get a 13 gauge out. I love tinkering with stuff. Not it. There's a 13. Alright, so now you put that back on there. Actually, before I do that, you want to get your sight dialed back up to 30. Almost forgot that. I'm no pro at this, that's for sure. Kind of hand screw those in. There's another screw. Alright, so I'm going to dial this one back up to my 30-yard mark. Put that up. Roll it back up. Now look at this thing good, make sure I got it where I need it. It's dead on 30 to me. Alright, so I'm going to take these back out. When you do that, you don't have to really screw them up real hard, real tight. As long as it holds in the holes. Comes right out. Then I'm going to get my 13 tape. These little screws back in. Tighten those babies down. You don't want to really over tighten them, just kind of get them in there snug. Alright, so I had my tape, I had my sight set at the 30-yard mark, and as you can see there, my bow is pointing to 35. That's okay. So when you have that going on, then you can loosen up your needle. Loosen that up, slide it up to 30. Man, I'm liking that. Yeah, buddy. Slide that up to 30. Make sure I get this back on there right. There it is. 30 yards right there. And that's all it is to it. And go outside and shoot it. And if it's not dead on 30, you can just move your little needle right there just a tad bit and shoot it at 30 yards. And when it's dialed in, if you need to move that needle just a little bit, move it just a little bit, and your money out to 100 yards. Custom bow equipment, CBE Engage Hybrid with a gauge. That's how it's done. Like I said, you can see the second hole, I have it on my riser, and you can see that I moved the whole chamber down. Once it could, I couldn't, when I had it at that hole right there, I could not get it to draw down to 100 yards, so I moved it up, so that way I have to scroll up a little bit. You can see my slider is a little bit above it, and that's exactly what I needed. So now that that is set, I want to shoot to 100 yards. Bam. I can shoot to 100 yards. Ready for some trick shots now, baby. I like it. Appreciate it, Larry McCoy, with the advice and the help. I'll shoot this dark outside now, so I'll shoot it tomorrow and make sure that, see if I need to move that needle up and down a little bit. But other than that, that Elite Kure is ready to rock and roll. So that's it. Whew. So there you have it. That's how you do the custom bow equipment. Engage Hybrid. That's the single pin. So if you have multiple pins, those are basically doing the same way, except for your bottom pin's your floating pin. And anyway, that's all I got for tonight. Pretty easy, pretty quick setup. May have to make a few adjustments if it doesn't scroll all the way down to 100. But anyway, and also in Starkville, Mississippi at Owens Outfitters, you can pick up one of the Engage Hybrid sights as well. So anyway, appreciate y'all watching. And as always, this ain't no game, baby! Spike's not impressed. Like, comment, subscribe, but that's how you set up the CBE Engage Hybrid. Y'all have a good night.